Aaron Wiggins scored 41 points tonight.
Thunder again.
We lost by double digits. We couldn't score any points or play any D.
Because Monty needs to make up his mind.
He better make up his mind.
Like right now.
Like, come on.
Like the deadline is February 6th.
February 6th. It's already February.
He's got to hurry.
Why is John Collins on our team?
What's going to happen?
Dude, I have no clue.
Welcome back to the Kang Gang Pod. This is episode 30.
30!
Let's just start off by saying this. This has been a very tough week for Kings fans across Sacramento and across the world. Where do we even begin? The Kings, this is the the second time in the last 4 games where we've allowed a team to score 140 points. On top of that, De'Aaron Fox, his name just floats out into the media out of nowhere, devastating everyone. The honeymoon phase is over, boys. We had a great January, 11-4. Doug Christie brought us back. I think the honeymoon phase is over, boys. Reality has hit. We just got back from our trip, unpacked the luggage, and this is real life again.
I miss that team.
Where do we even start?
Man, we look so flustered out there. We look so unmotivated. I mean, it's hard to ignore the Fox News because it's everywhere. It's all over YouTube, the media, ESPN. I've never seen the Kings been talked about more on national media since this Fox News, and it looks like it's affecting the guys. And we're how many days? 5 days from the trade deadline now. We need to make a move. We need to shake things up because the team that just played the Thunder looks unmotivated as hell, and we can't have a performance like that. We just can't.
Nope.
So Monty needs to shake things up. I think he needs to be on the phone constantly until the trade gets done.
I think he probably is on the phone right now.
Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree with Johnny that this is something that has definitely taken a toll on this whole roster. It's not surprising to see this team be unmotivated. It just feels like this team is just basically walking on thin ice right now because there's no clue what's going to happen in the next week or so. This is almost exactly. I'll save what my thoughts for the Fox trade later, but yeah, it's not looking good right now. It's just we're back to 500. All the work that we've done, the 7-game winning streak that we had, beating Boston, all that goes away because we couldn't do what we could do. Our bench is non-existent.
So on the road trip, we are 1-4. We have one more game against Minnesota. We had high hopes. We had high hopes for this road trip. We really thought we would carry on the positive energy from that 11-4 start in January. Continue it. Nope. It has been abysmal to watch. It's been very, very bad. We had one win, which we had to scrape by with the Nets, and then we play the good teams, of course, on the road. And man, oh man, New York, we allow them to score 140 points, and now the Thunder, they scored a season high 144 points, and it wasn't even Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that carried them. It was a guy by the name of Aaron Wiggins, who had a career high in points, 3-pointers made, and rebounds. He had 41 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 3-pointers made, all career highs for the man. He averages on the season 9 points, and this is what he does to us. This is just a testament of how good the Thunder organization is, how good Sam Presti is at picking guys to be the perfect fit for this organization, and God,
and
they showed it.
That's
tonight.
probably on me because I bet Isaiah Joe's over naturally. Wiggins goes off when I bet is over. But yeah, dude, he's a Kings killer. I think it's definitely his best game in his career, but
for
definitely
sure.
His best game against us.
His previous career high was 28.
That's crazy.
Shattered that with 41 tonight.
Yikes.
That's crazy. But we got our ass whooped tonight.
There's not one good thing to say about tonight's game. It's basically it's just talking about how great the Thunder are and how heavily destroyed by injuries there are.
Yeah,
they are still so good.
I think the only thing we could say is Malik Monk's first quarter. That's pretty much it.
That was great.
That was a great start. And then that lasted about 5 minutes, and then I guess you could say Keegan Murray shooting 3 for 5 from 3, I think, or 4 for 6 from 3. But other than that, that's about it.
Yep, nothing exciting. Even the game before, that was when we played Philly. That was a heartbreaker. I mean, when you go up by 10 in the third quarter and then that just slips away.
We have no paint presence.
No paint presence. None. It is a disaster right now
for a team like Phil. Like, dude, Shea and Tyrese Maxey these last couple of games have just shown like it's barbecue chicken in the paint. Like you could make a floater against the Kings defense. RT can make a couple floaters.
RT would drop 16 if he was on the bench of Oklahoma City.
But especially against Philly, and I mean Shea, he does it against every team. But it looks so easy to him. Like he could do it with one hand, and it's just a sign that like we don't have any paint presence. We don't have anyone scared to drive the paint. And like Morgan Reagan said in the postgame podcast, like sometimes you need to be physical with them. And Domas is physical, but he's just not a lengthy defender. That's just not his type. He doesn't have the longest arms. He's not a shot blocker. He's physical. He's tall, but he's not anyone that you're really shying away from if you're driving in the paint. You're just not.
No, basically, if you're the opposing guard going up against Sabonis, you're trying to get him to foul you.
Yeah.
Like, you're not scared of Sabonis because you know how crucial he is on the offensive end. You try to take him out the game by getting him into those uncomfortable positions, and that's why we need someone to take over that load for Sabonis so he could stay in games because I think he led the league last year in fouling out. It's just a common theme with him. I mean, it hasn't happened nearly as much this season, and I think only maybe one time, but still, it's like we know what the Kings' problems are, and every team in the association knows how to exploit us. It's been on full display in these past two games, and it's even crazy because the Thunder aren't the biggest team, and with Joel Embiid out and Andre Drummond out in the 76ers game, they're not the biggest team either. And we still can't get past it. It's crazy. It's just the lack of physicality, the lack of how we just allow all these offensive rebounds. Speaking of rebounds, I think this might be a season high for all teams in the NBA. The Kings allowed the Thunder to have 70 rebounds, 20 of which were offensive, 50 were defensive. And the Kings only had, I wrote this down because it was crazy. Oh gosh, where is it? It'll come back to me. I wrote it down somewhere. But before that, the season high for an opposing team against the Kings for rebounding was 56. They had 70 tonight.
That's insane.
And 20 of them are offensive. It's just, dude. What could we do? What could we do with the roster?
It's been the problem for the last 3 years of the Beam Team era. Like the last 3 years, we struggled to get an offensive rebound. We struggled to get rebounds. We struggle like Game 7 against the Warriors. In that third quarter, I believe the Warriors had like 5 or 6 offensive rebounds in that game, and that ballooned their lead up to 9 and all that stuff. So it's just been the same problems every single year during this era. Physicality has been a problem. Having lengthy wing defenders has been a problem. There's just a lot of things that are just making this team have a limited ceiling and a limited floor. So the problem is the Kings right now are just in a free fall right now. It is just not looking good. There's nothing good to say about this team.
It's terrible timing too with the Fox News, and then we play the best team in the West. I think Johnny could probably look it up right now, but I believe we had 38 rebounds tonight.
And coming off a loss against
we had 37.
37. Gee, like it's very bad. Like just horrible timing. And it also sucks that when we had that 7-game win streak, and then when we go on this 6-game road trip, it's against very good teams. Yeah. Minus Brooklyn. But still, it's just like classic Kings. Just this is just unfortunate. And
we just got bullied. We got bullied tonight for sure. I mean, they had 74 points in the paint. 74 points in the paint. That's over half of their points.
Hartenstein was looking like Rashawn Holmes with that beautiful push shot that looks... it's not beautiful. It's ugly. It's an ugly push shot, but he's mastered it. Beautiful arc for a 7-footer, and he swishes it every time.
The fact that a team has more than half their points in the paint, and they score 144, it's not like they had a low amount. They scored 144 points, and more than half is in the paint.
That's a season high for the Thunder, by the way. 144 points. So they had their best game.
Yeah, I don't know how a trade isn't made in the next 24 hours.
No, I
really don't. I'm refreshing my X. I'm checking.
Yeah, so the Kings allow a season high 82 points. This is the most by all teams in the NBA, by the way. 82 points in the first half. We only scored, let's see, I think we had 53. Yeah, 55 to end the first half. So 55 to 82. The Thunder had hit 11 for 17 three-pointers. Shea had 23 points and 11 free throw attempts in the first half. So that was basically the storyline. And the Thunder outscored the Kings 46 to 24 in the second quarter. So the lead ballooned extremely quick, and there was just no coming back after that.
No, you're not going to beat a team when you're losing almost every single category like that. It's just
basically every category.
Yeah, every category. You're not going to win a game like that.
Want to hear the funniest category?
Oh gosh, just say it.
So it took 33 minutes for the Kings bench to score, and it was a Kevin Huerter 3.
and like the local guy always says, he just needs an opportunity. So
I don't think he does.
Just got to give him a chance.
I mean, the chance has been given. And another crazy stat from this game. It was the end of the third quarter, and Johnny, what are you doing? Sorry, you distracted me. So the craziest stat of the game was the Thunder at the end of the third quarter had 18 offensive rebounds, which at the time was the amount of defensive rebounds the Kings had.
That's
so
crazy.
That just shows how the Thunder win games. You know how many extra possessions you get when you finish the game with 20 offensive rebounds? You're not going to lose that game. And in their case, they win by 34.
Yeah.
And that's what good teams do.
Yeah, it seems like every time they got an offensive board, it turned out to be a three-pointer. So it's like those times kill you so much.
Either that or an Aaron Wiggins putback, like he did so many times tonight. It was crazy.
Yeah, we just got manhandled. It was bad.
It was just a deflating game.
Just deflating. Just no fight, but like on our guys. And yeah, after the first 5 minutes of the game, it just seemed like none of them cared anymore. And Fox is shooting pull-up threes, and he's just not being as aggressive as he once was. And it looks like that's trickling down to all the other guys. I've never seen Fox shoot so many pull-up threes with more than 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And you could just see Doug Christie what are we doing? We don't need a pull-up three right now.
Yeah.
So he just looks less aggressive. He looks like he's not giving his all. And yeah, a
lot of people are saying he looks checked out.
He definitely looks checked out.
It just sucks that, the Kings have 3 days off basically before today's game, and during those 3 days it was all negative press in the news. And you just have to, the Kings just have to try ignore their best, go to practice, and then Doug Christie has to do his very best by just bringing the group together. I mean, what is going on right now is terrible for the locker room. They're seeing it. They're hearing it. I mean, Johnny and I talked about this when we first heard the Fox News, that we were really hoping that it just wouldn't affect the locker room. And I mean,
the exact opposite.
This display that we saw looked like they all read every single article before going out to that game tonight.
But a lot of it bleeds into how Fox is playing. So if Fox looks like he doesn't have his foot all the way on the gas pedal, then the other guys won't.
Yeah.
And Malik's the exception, obviously, but yeah, it just looked like the head of the snake that we always call Fox wasn't there. And why if I'm Trey Lyles or if I'm Kevin Huerter, if I'm anyone else, why am I going hard if our best player is half-assing it?
No, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, there was a photo that was out a couple days before. I think it was today or yesterday. And Keegan, Fox, and Sabonis, they were all smiling. Monk was smiling.
Things looked great.
Good. And it was like, hey, you know what? This is probably we're going through a tough stretch, and then if we somehow go home and then we be able to split the mat. No.
You know what the caption of that photo should have been? Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. It's like the little dog.
Room.
Yeah, the dog is everything's fine.
Yeah, that's literally what the caption of that photo should have been. Gosh. But like I said earlier, this has been a terrible week for the Kings. On Thursday, they announced the All-Star reserves.
Oh my God.
And you know what happened? Domantas Sabonis was not named an All-Star.
Again,
take it away.
Again. No, let me say it. Let me fix that for you. Domantas Sabonis was not named an All-Star again. Again, let me say that very clearly to everybody. Again. I have never seen a player that has been more disrespected. And a lot of people on Twitter also agreed with this take too. They were
non-Kings fans.
Non-Kings fans.
Which is great.
Non-Kings fans were like, hey, why is this guy not in? Leading the league in rebounds. Second in three-point percentage.
Double-doubles.
Leading the league in double-doubles. Averaging his career best in points. There's so much things that are just working in for him. And then you basically put Şengün, who's like the lighter version of Sabonis over him.
He's like the great value version of Sabonis.
There was a lot of things that were so bad about the All-Star snubs, but here at Kang Gang Pod, this having Şengün over Sabonis and Jaren Jackson over Sabonis is bonkers. It's bonkers.
I mean, there's a lot of things that go into the voting, which is crazy because it's all Western Conference coaches that are voting these guys in.
It's all political too.
And it's crazy that you're telling me that every single Western Conference coach is like, yeah, we don't have to worry about Sabonis when we play the game. Like that. Like that's basically what it feels like, you know?
Yeah,
it's disrespectful, but
this is how the coaches their ears yawn. They yawn when they look at Sabonis.
Yeah,
They're just like,
in their defense, what I think obviously what plays into it is the fact that the Kings are a 10th seed. If we were, you know how we pushed up to the 7th seed when we went on that crazy run? If we were there or maybe pushing closer to 6 by the time the voting came out, Sabonis would be an all-star. But since we fell in the past week, it's so crazy that a little, slide is what dictates a guy's. And obviously the all-star game has just turned out to be one of the worst things on television in the past couple of years. But it's not about that. It's about
the respect.
The respect and what it means to these guys' legacies going forward, And I do not want this to happen, and I'm afraid that it already is that players like Sabonis, Fox, DeRozan, just any like star potential player, when they're in Sacramento and they're playing for a losing team, it affects them on a personal level. Like not getting selected to All-Star games twice now for Sabonis just because of our record. I mean, that's got to be extremely frustrating for him.
Yeah, that's got to fuel you. We've seen a lot of people, and like they said it on Inside the NBA, like sometimes it takes a team or a star player to not make the All-Star team, and that sets them up for the rest of the year and gives them fuel for the rest of the year. I think Charles Barkley said it, or one of them said it. But yeah, I mean, you got to use it as motivation. You can't change the outcome of anything, but there's times when seasons can turn around when the star player gets that extra sort of juice. And he wasn't the only player that got snubbed, right? Trae Young got snubbed.
Ton of snubs this year.
LaMelo Ball got snubbed. Yeah,
so
that was wild.
At the end of the day, it is what it is, but it's not like it's a season killer. Like, it sucks. Don't get me wrong, it sucks. But, like, let it fuel the rest of your season. You still have an opportunity to go to win a playoff series.
No, for sure. I mean, it's all based on... All-star selections are all based on who's winning at the time of the voting and a popularity contest. I mean, DeMar DeRozan was interviewed by Lou Williams and Danny Green this past week as well, and they asked him about the All-Star voting, and he's like, we all know the politics of the NBA. Since we're a 10 seed, it's obviously Sabonis and Fox are well deserving. They are all-stars, but they're not going to make it because of our seeding. And he's like, I wish our record was better because those two guys are extremely deserving. And that's pretty much the explanation, the summary of what is going on. And there's another thing that was very alarming that DeMar DeRozan said in that interview. RT, can you let the audience know?
So, as many of you know, we have been the forefront of the last month about Fox trades. And let me say this very clearly. DeRozan went also on that same interview talking with Lou Williams and basically was saying if Fox gets traded, DeRozan doesn't think he can stay in Sacramento.
He didn't say that word for word, but that's what he's saying.
Essentially, it's like it's going to be tough.
He's like, I'm not here to play another 5 years. I'm here to win with a great team, and that's why he came here, because he viewed Sacramento as a great team. And now the front office is not only failing De'Aaron Fox for the past 8 years, he's failing the guy who you just brought in and paid $72 million for 3 years.
Yeah,
talk about that, Jono.
Man, it sucks. And yeah, I saw that clip too. He was saying Fox was the main reason him, Sabonis, and Monk were the main recruiters to get him to come here. And it sucks that like Fox is the one we're shopping when we have so many other holes we can fill on our offense that to build around these guys. And from DeRozan's perspective, he's like, yeah, that's just frustrating. I don't have that many good years left. And the fact that you're shopping around the one player that like I don't want to not play with, like it sucks. But yeah, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'd still be shocked at this point if Fox does get traded. I hope we could just get, a minor move, no pun intended, to just move a Trey Lyles, move a Kevin Huerter and picks and get some help for our interior defense, because I still feel like this core can win games, even with the troubled relationship. But yeah, it just, I think he's right. I think everything he said was right in that interview. He doesn't have that many years left, and the fact that you want to trade away your best player, and one of the reasons he came to this team, a lower organization, an organization that's not as profitable, or a smaller market, right? It just sucks, and I wouldn't slide him if he feels like he got backstabbed a little bit.
No,
if Fox does end up getting traded.
And the crazy thing is,
let me interrupt you. Sorry, for those that are watching, when he said no pun intended, his last name is Minor. I just wanted to have him finish his thought.
I had to clarify in the comments last time.
Just had to clarify.
Yeah, whoever commented said he doesn't understand what puns mean. Dude, you're a clown. That's clown behavior. Yeah. Like, just do some research on the podcasters.
His name's Johnny Minor.
Yeah,
not Johnny Major.
Anyway,
but
you don't got it.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this now brings up the question: do you think the front office is looking to move DeMar now? Because I've been seeing an insane amount of rumors from pretty, qualified people to speak on it, and I've been seeing some crazy things, and that's what I want to spend the next topic of conversation on. Now that we know that De'Aaron Fox is actively being listened, or trades are being listened to, and that Monty McNair in the front office got dozens of phone calls regarding De'Aaron Fox, it doesn't sound like the San Antonio move. They do not want to include Stephon Castle. They've made it very clear they do not want to include him. They consider him untouchable. This is all new information, because when me and Johnny first spoke on it was basically our reactions. Now we have a lot more substance to talk about. So the Spurs say they view Stephon Castle as untouchable. So now this brings up the question, and it's been shown in the media, that we have the potential to see a multi-team trade, 4, 5, maybe even 6 teams to get a trade done, just because San Antonio does not want to include Stephon Castle. I've heard the guy we've been talking about for years, it seems like, Zach LaVine, might be coming to Sacramento. I've heard
Fred VanVleet.
I've heard John Collins. I've heard Cam Johnson. I've been hearing some crazy stuff, and let's just backtrack a second and talk about specifically the Spurs. I think Johnny and I both agreed it's got to be Vassell, Castle, Sohan, and picks. That's the asking price. You have to come in we're not bowing down to the San Antonio. We're not going to lose in this trade. This is our asking price, and then go from there.
Right. But if we include DeRozan and Fox in any trade, that's going to be a lot of salary that we're going to have to take on back, because that's that's going to be like $50 million that we're letting go, 50, 60 million. So whoever we get in return is going to have to be pretty solid. We're going to have to get someone with a substantial contract, right? But yeah, this is looking like, especially if the Spurs want to be stingy, this is going to look like a three-team trade at least.
I think more. I think more, because the way I've been seeing things, not only is De'Aaron just going to San Antonio, we would be getting, in these hypothetical rumors that we're seeing where other teams are involved, we would be getting rid of Kevin and Trey as well. That's how we're getting all of these new guys in return. Yeah. I've been seeing we get Zach LaVine, John Collins, Keldon Johnson from the Spurs picks.
Bradley Beal has been a name that's been mentioned too.
There's been just so much talk, and now I'm asking you guys, do you think the front office even has it within them to make a deal this big? We've seen it once. And then trade deadlines the past 2 years, we've seen nothing. So what makes you think that the front office, what makes you feel confident that they're actually going to make a move for De'Aaron Fox?
If you're Monty McNair, you only get this job one time. You can only get this job one time. And I think in football terms, we had the famous Hard Knocks clip, right, with the New York Giants GM.
Oh, yeah.
When his son was telling him to draft Jaden Daniels. He said, Dad, you only get this job one time.
Yeah.
And he was telling him to make a bold move to trade up to draft Jaden Daniels, right?
And then look what Jaden Daniels does.
And look what Jaden Daniels is doing. So I think
made an NFC Championship game.
Monty McNair only has a year left, I believe, on his contract. Didn't get extended. So I think he needs to look in the mirror and say, you only get this job one time. If you see a move that can help our team, make it, because he has an eye for talent. We know that. He has an eye for roster improvability, I think. So if he sees a move where we trade DeRozan and Fox, but we get some substantial pieces back, which we'll have to, I think he has to do it. But I don't know.
But do you think he will? Is the question?
That's what I'm saying. You only get this job one time. I think he's shown he has the cojones to make a big trade with the Halliburton trade, and that was his second full year as our GM. I think this is the year that something big happens. I really do. And I'm not saying that I'm pro trading Fox. I'm not saying that that's what I want. But in just looking at how, spontaneous our ownership makes decisions, how unspontaneous our team makes decisions, I think this is the year that they don't want to see another regression from that Beam Team era. They don't want to see another regression from last year. So I think this is the year that Monty and Vivek, obviously we know Vivek always makes the final call, but I think this is the year that Monty realizes like, hey, I need to do something or my job's gone. If I just keep things the same, my job's going to be gone. And who knows if I'll ever get another GM job again.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot to wrap up. For me, I almost feel of it as this was almost similar to what the Anthony Davis trade was 6 years ago when he was in New Orleans. I think the franchise, like the Pelicans, he made it very clear he wanted to be on the Lakers. They basically were like, we're going to teeter a little bit. And he was still on the team until the end of the season. So they didn't make a trade during the deadline, but they was still on the team for the offseason. Draft season rolls along. Basically, picks come around. And then that was the point where they made the Anthony Davis trade. And so for me, I almost feel like this is exactly the same thing where the Kings are in a spot right now where they're talking with the Spurs. But I don't think there's going to be a move. I almost feel like Fox is going to stay with us post-deadline. I think that this move that will happen will most likely take place in the offseason because, again, you have a year and a half with him left. You're not going to just, while I get the idea of selling him at the most valuable, maximum value you can, you also have a year left after this season to really figure out whether or not you want to keep Fox on your team.
Yeah.
And really kind of like make that decision. I don't feel like the deadline isn't the true time to really just say, yes, it's a deadline. But Monty McNair has made it very clear that he doesn't do trades during the deadline 2 years until the only exception was the Halliburton trade.
Yeah.
He's made moves in the offseason during the draft. And I almost feel like this is going to be exactly the same thing where they're just going to prolong this Fox move basically all the way up until the draft or during free agency. So that's my opinion on it. I don't think this trade is going to happen during the deadline because I just don't think it's the right time yet.
Well, RT, you got to remember, we're talking about a team that has an owner that will fire someone at the snap of a finger. And at some point, you got to think Monty McNair is looking at his job and like, this guy might fire me. He literally just might fire me. He fired the coach of the year last year. Mm-hmm. So regardless if it's a Monty McNair decision, I think he knows his job's on the line. So you're right. In the past, he hasn't been known to make midseason acquisitions, but he's had a somewhat safe job security in the past, right? Mm-hmm. There's never been more spotlight on a Monty McNair firing than there is right now. And I think Monty knows that. And
that's a fair point that you're making too.
We don't have a normal owner.
No,
we don't have a normal NBA owner.
Vivek is doing right now.
I think everyone in the front office, everyone on the coaching staff, everyone that works for the Kings, all the popcorn people that fill the popcorn and the ones that scan your tickets, they don't think their job's safe because there's the person that owns the team will fire you on an impulsive decision, and you got to think Monty McNair's shitting bricks right now. Like literally, like if we have another regression, who knows if he gets the last year of his contract next year? Who knows if we have another regression and he makes no moves? He has to have those conversations in his head, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like I said, it's going to be very difficult for me to really just, again, that's why I always feel like the deadline isn't going to be the true answer for whether or not you want to trade Fox. There is that whole offseason where you basically have that time to really focus on that. So,
yeah, what I'm saying is like Monty doesn't know if he's going to finish this season.
I understand that.
That's how bad the
I don't think the players know that Fox is going to finish the season either.
No one knows.
Let me ask you guys this: if you trade Fox now, you get the peak return during the deadline because you have all the competition. You don't have to trade him to San Antonio. The Kings could go the direction of, I'm going to get the best amount of value. It doesn't matter who it's from. If I think this trade package is the best, that's where Fox is going to go. Mm-hmm. If you wait into the offseason, you have such a, his value goes down a little bit because you have to move him. So then people start to offer you less.
Right. So you might get a better offer now, for a team to get in early.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because who says a team goes after Fox and then they do everything possible to get him to sign a max extension there, and then Spurs miss out. So then if there is an outside team looking at this situation saying, oh, I need to get in on this, I need a bid for Fox, then in return that puts even more pressure on San Antonio because then San Antonio's missing out on their guy.
Yeah.
But now that Stephon Castle is like untouchable, it brings up the question, if you're the San Antonio, do you really believe that Fox and Wemby are the duo, or is Castle and Wemby the duo? Mm-hmm. So then,
are you willing to wait? Are you willing to wait till Castle pans out?
Because then that shows to Fox that we're not seeking you, you're seeking us. You know, and it's
they're picking Castle over him.
Exactly. So this situation is so detailed and so crazy.
It's interesting.
Like, I just need this week to just. I need it to be 6 a.m. on Thursday, February 6th.
Is it 6 a.m.?
It goes from 6 a.m. to noon.
Oh,
I always remember deadline day is the craziest day.
It's
for
12
sports.
Eastern, right?
I think
on the day.
I think so. So then it's like you have this 3 to 6 hours for us where we're just glued to our phones waiting for something to happen. And that brings up my next point. If you want to see us go live during that stretch, let us know, because I'm
that would be fun.
Tomorrow I am learning from our good friend Ben. He's coming over to teach me how to go live with a certain website for YouTube. So he's coming over tomorrow. So we're gonna learn. If you want to see us go live during deadline day, let us know in the comments, because that is something that I've been wanting to do.
Yeah. And RT said he'd do a hot tub stream. So,
a cold plunge stream.
Cold plunge. That's if we make any moves.
Yeah, we'll see. But
we'll do a cold plunge for like a King's trade.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah.
King's cold plunge.
So
I'm gonna cold plunge off the Tower Bridge if we keep losing.
Boys, let's transition to the next topic. I want you guys to make your trade deadline bold predictions across the NBA, but I want you to start with the Kings. And I want you to say who is not going to be on our Kings roster, who we're going to get in return. And I want you guys to make also bold predictions across the league, like major stars, where are they ending up? RT, I want you to start, because I feel like you already got this in your head.
I do. My bold prediction for the Sacramento Kings during this trade deadline is we go 3 straight years without making a single move.
I was so afraid you were going to say that, because I've been having nightmares that we're gonna have no movement, and I'm like, that's quite possibly the worst thing that could happen. But,
and
Johnny, do you have a prediction? Do you think is it going to be a Herter and Lyles move? Is it going to be the Fox move? What do you think? Now is your time to cement your thoughts.
Let me just preface this by saying my prediction isn't necessarily what I want. What I want.
No, that's fine.
What I want is a less serious move, a less major move, and I want to move Lyles, Herter, and picks for a John Collins. That's what I want. What I think is going to happen, I think De'Aaron Fox is going to get traded to the Miami Heat. I think he's going to get traded to the Miami Heat with a 3-team trade with Utah. I think from Miami.
So no San Antonio.
No San Antonio.
Whoa.
I think they get cold feet with Stephon Castle, and I actually sent this to you guys. I sent this trade to you guys, and it just looks like it fits. So we would get Khalil Ware from the Miami Heat.
Okay, I like him. I do like him.
Who's having a solid rookie season. We'd get John Collins from the Utah Jazz. We'd get Nikola Jovic from the Miami Heat. And we'd get Larson from the Miami Heat as well.
Pele Larson.
How many picks do we get?
None.
Oh.
None, but we're not giving up any picks. We're just giving up Fox and Lyles.
And I don't know if that's enough.
I don't think Miami agrees to this move either. Kiel Ware has been balling.
They love him.
He's
They love
been
him right
balling.
But they're also in kind of panic mode to keep Jimmy happy and obviously Bam's the next star they want to keep happy.
What do you mean keep Jimmy happy? They're trying to bounce him out.
No, I know, but if they don't have any shooters, like you know. And
No, his values dropped tremendously.
Exactly.
Okay, let's transition to Jimmy Butler. RT, where's Jimmy landing?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow.
Where is Jimmy Butler going to go? Because he's not going to be in a Miami uniform to end this year.
He goes to Phoenix, right?
It's either it's going to be. I feel like Phoenix. I've seen Golden State. I've seen Golden State be in there too.
But I've also seen Steph saying, "I don't know if he fits the locker room."
Yeah, that's the thing. Him and Draymond are going to be crazy.
They could either butt heads or they could like form into one.
Or they could be like best friends. They could be like best friends.
Exactly.
So, but they did have some chemistry though in the 2016 Olympics.
You're right.
Yeah, I am gonna say that Jimmy Butler is gonna be a Golden State Warrior. That's gonna be my prediction. I think that this team just needs another wing defender, obviously another bucket getter alongside Steph. You can tell that this team, like Pajemski, Kuminga, they aren't just getting it done. They haven't basically made the move to be like a secondary scorer alongside Steph. And I think to maximize your superstar players' championship window, getting Jimmy Butler, who's been to the finals at least 2 times, been to a conference final 3 times with Miami, this is the time where you really want to maximize that and really try and turn your season around.
I love that take. You know where I think Jimmy's going? I think he's going to Memphis. I know he doesn't want to go there. And that would suck. That would suck for the Western Conference. That team would
implode.
No, because I think Jimmy would be a great addition to that team.
I think Milwaukee would be a sneaky team too. But I don't see them trading him to another Eastern Conference team. I definitely see him trading him to the Western Conference.
I could see him. I could see him in a Memphis jersey for some reason.
I think the Beal Butler trade is going to end up working out. I think Beal is going to waive his no trade clause for Miami.
Yeah.
And then Miami's going to be willing to take him on just to get that situation done with. I think he's going to end up on Phoenix.
Do you think if the Kings and Miami were to make a deal, do you think the asking price is Tyler Hero in return for the Kings?
For Fox?
For Fox.
Well, I mean, I don't think so.
they want 2 win now players, obviously, right?
Yeah, I mean they're not going to give. I don't think
they're going to give Tyler Hero now.
For sure.
They would have probably 3 or 4 years ago. But now,
because Tyler Hero was on the block at the beginning of this year, and
look at the season he's having.
I know he's an all-star now. So I mean, is that if you're Monty McNair, do you say, hey, if you want in on this, if you want to partner up the two Kentucky boys, we want Hero.
Well, I think Jimmy's the first domino to go, and once he gets moved to a different team, when he does, I think that's when they do the complete roster shift and get someone to because I mean Bam would be their next star, Bam and Tyler, obviously. So to give them a third kind of third star next to those two, that would be solid. That'd be the goal.
Dude, this trade deadline has the potential to be so crazy
because so many teams are in it. So many teams have an opportunity to make some noise,
and especially for the Kings. Like I was talking to a friend. I was saying the possibility for the Kings this trade deadline could be so crazy. Or literally nothing could happen at all. Literally. It's like the highest of highs of like, oh, do we end up finally moving Trey and Kevin and those picks to get someone to partner with Fox, or do we trade Fox and get a ton of return back?
So I think
does nothing happen, which is just so crazy. Like I feel like we haven't been in a position like this in a while.
So the craziest thing that can happen is Fox and DeRozan get moved. Second craziest is just Fox getting moved. Third craziest, which would be not really that surprising, Lyles and Herter, right? But there's so many different, and then the fourth craziest would be nothing happens at all. Which is very possible.
I'm so nervous.
There's 4 different scenarios in which we're going to be shocked regardless.
Yeah, I mean these next 4 days are just going to be just. I'm just mentally preparing myself just to like be prepared for the news.
I'm taking the trade deadline off work, and I'm just
that's my favorite day.
Getting some caffeine
on my phone and just
popcorn,
refreshing all day.
No more Woj though. This is the first trade deadline without Woj.
Shams is gonna be big.
This is the first one.
Does Shams have a competitor? Is someone gonna be trying to like break news before him?
I think it's the local guy, right?
Speaking of which, we have a guest for Monday's pod. We're gonna talk more deadline, he's got a lot of insight on what's going on.
Yeah. I think he's El Camino High School's leading scorer in basketball.
For sure. I
think he has the points record there.
I mean, you want to check out that highlight tape that he puts out every single time on Twitter.
His jersey's on the rafters.
I'm excited to have him on the pod.
We're all excited.
Yeah, so he'll be here Monday to talk about just what he knows, what he thinks will happen. It'll be a very fun episode. Hopefully, we could talk about a Minnesota win as well. We'll see. I mean, we're in a place where, the games right now don't even matter to me anymore. It's like, what do we do to go forward? That's where I'm at right now.
That would be such a Kings move to beat Minnesota after all this.
I know.
That would be such a Kings move.
Which would not surprise me because we play well at their house.
This team is just unpredictable. Like, every time we want them to do good, they suck. Every time we expect them to suck, they do good. Like, this is the life of a Kings fan.
This has been the season that we would have never predicted. We would have never predicted would be at this point.
No.
We were... To start the season, we were predicting 50 wins. We were predicting
win the division.
We were predicting.
I still think we're gonna win the division.
We were predicting so many great things, and now we're talking about a Fox trade. I remember when we were all partying outside the Golden One Center after a playoff victory, and now we're just talking about potentially moving our homegrown 8-year star.
Right after he dropped the Banzito ones. Right after he dropped the Banzito ones.
God, dude, this is so crazy.
Do you think Banzito moves locations?
I hope not. Imagine we lose Fox and Banzito.
No shot.
No, they would open another location. They would definitely.
They would probably make
Fox would invest in them and be like, I got you guys.
Yeah, I know Fox wants to expand them already.
For sure.
I'm just nervous that he's gonna take Banzitos away. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Oh,
but also God. To close the pod, Fox has yet to ask out.
That's true.
This is all talk right now.
It's all Rich Paul.
It's. Yeah, dude, that Clutch Sports. I'm telling you, they're
not clutch.
They see the NBA and then they do the Thanos just gripping the hand, and they're just like, what domino am I gonna make fall next? That's what Clutch Sports does. But yeah, De'Aaron is still loyal to Sacramento. I mean, 8 years with the team. Who knows? Maybe we do make some roster adjusting moves. We go on a Dallas Mavericks type run like last year. We get a playoff berth.
Give us John Collins,
and
please.
Then De'Aaron Fox signs an extension in the offseason. Imagine,
dude, that would be awesome.
Crazy.
Imagine, dude. There's still so many things that could happen. I wanted to end on that because that's the one thing
the season is not a wash.
Could happen.
It's not. Right. We're 4 games out of 6th. We're 2.5.
That's crazy.
With how bad we're playing,
that's
that
crazy.
Is insane.
With 2.5 back of the 7th, the top of the play-in spot. The season's not dead from our perspective, even though we've been playing so bad.
All right, name your number 1 target in the trade deadline. In 3.
Oh shoot.
2. 1.
Where are we going? This way?
I could start. It's got to be John Collins.
It
has to be. I mean,
it's got to be.
I don't think he solves everything.
He's not going to cost an arm and a leg.
But he's
going to come off the bench.
I did see a report that they want Trey, Kevin, a first and a second is what I saw.
Well, I want $1 million and Jack Cervini honey mustard all over me, but that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, there's other players out there that are going to be shot.
I know. I don't think John Collins solves everything, but he gives the Kings a different look.
A boost. And
that's what we need.
He fixes a void that we have, which is interior defense, presence, bench scoring, athleticism, rim running, and just a solid backup forward that we don't have.
Also, I saw a rumor, maybe a Cam Johnson and Claxton package. I saw something in a 3-4 team trade where we end up with Johnson and Claxton, which would give us 2 pieces that we really need. We need that rim protector in Claxton. We get the defense and 3-point shooting from Cam Johnson with a 6'8" frame. I mean,
that's what's so hard with these mock trades.
It's so crazy because there's so many things that could help us.
Yeah, especially in a 3 or 4 team trade, and we know Monty loves those 4-team trades, those 3-team trades. So there's so many things that you can't really simulate. But I wouldn't mind that. I think 1A would be John Collins for me. 1B would be Cam Johnson and others.
I mean, I agree. I think that's kind of the consensus, I think, from all of us right now. I think that John Collins is the cheaper option. We've discussed this a lot on previous episodes, so nothing has really changed on how we view it. It's going to be a matter of what does this team want to do? What's the direction where we're going? If we're going to sell Fox, are we going to basically find a way to trade all these other guys? What's the value for DeRozan? What's going to be the value for Sabonis when we trade those guys away? What's the value for Keegan Murray? What's the value for Kevin Huerter? You know, like there's no pulse. There's no pulse.
I just heard Sabonis in trade.
Yeah,
and I almost just fainted.
Yeah, because I'm
ending the pod. Don't you dare.
I'm telling you, no, I gotta be the one to say it.
Are you saying that's a domino effect?
No, I get what you're saying. We got to assess the value of everybody. Assess the value of everybody.
Because here's the thing, though. Because we never really experienced a roster where, or as we as a front office decide, we're just going to completely bottom out.
No, we're not. They clearly don't want that. They want to retool, not rebuild.
They just want to retool. But then, let's say going into next season, you basically do not do well, and then that puts you even more of a stranglehold. You trade Fox away, and then all of a sudden
he watched the Royal Rumble instead of the game tonight.
I'm just saying. Like, this is what's gonna. This is a real possibility.
I thought you were Royal Ryan. You're just watching the Royal Rumble.
Royal Ryan watching the Royal Rumble instead of the blowout loss of the Thunder. That's what you were doing,
Royal
talking
Ryan.
with that wrestling terminology. Strangled.
Yeah, I mean, WWE is
WWE is back, by the way.
It's so bad.
Let that be known.
It's so bad.
I'm about to hit RT with an RKO for trading Sabonis, bro.
I'm gonna frog splash RT off the top rope.
No.
That's all I'm gonna do.
Well, no, I know. That's the thing. There was also UFC today too, so that's what also happened.
That's what's gonna happen to Monty McNair if there's no moves being made. He's going into the cage. All I'm saying is, if Cam Johnson goes to the Thunder, it's a wrap for everyone.
It's
dude.
over.
It's over for everyone. It's over for everyone. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, boys, that was a fun episode, despite the sorrow and despair and just.
We'll be here through the ups and downs.
We have to be. But
we will be.
I'm so curious what these next 5 days hold. We're going to be posting a lot on this YouTube channel, letting the people know our thoughts, and we're going to open the conversation for everyone to talk about it with us. So
get ready for our first live broadcast.
Yes,
get ready.
Get the day off.
I will.
Get the day off.
I will.
We're going live on deadline day. And we're going to be sitting with the people talking about what's going on in the NBA. It's going to be very fun. Let's do it, boys.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much for watching. The Kings are now 24-24, back to 500.
30.
So wait, hold on.
30
so
podcasts.
we're at 48 games. So that means we have 34 more games left in the season. Is that right, RT?
Let me check. I'm checking right now.
So 82 minus
48. Yeah.
So that's 34, right?
Let me double check. You're probably right, but let me just double check.
Yeah, get the calculator out. We don't want to mess this up for the people.
34.
So we have 34 games left. Out of the 34, we're going to start with RT. How many of those will be wins?
Oh my god.
Just so we can predict our final record, and we want to know if that is enough to make it in the playoffs.
Can I say something?
34.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I think we go 17-17.
No.
Wait, can I say something?
Yes.
I think we'll go 25-9.
25-9?
Yeah, 25-9.
That would mean 49 wins. That would be one step up from last year.
I know. I know.
So we either have to go 25-9 or 26-8 to get 50 wins. Is that what we've come to?
Yep.
Oh,
wait, we got to go 30. We got to go 30 and what? No, never mind. My math is so off.
No, we need 26 wins to get to the 50.
To get 50, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So
26.
We'll be 49.
Yeah, my math is so
33.
off today.
Oh, God.
What about you, Christo? What do you think?
Okay, 34 games left. I think best case scenario is we win 21 more games. So that means 21-13 to close out the year.
Just get us the 10 seed.
Because then that would mean 44, 45 wins, which would be probably an 8th seed. So that would be Are we gonna be at Golden One Center for another playing game this year? Is that what you're telling me? Or are we gonna miss it altogether? I don't know.
Just get us the 10 seed.
Let us know what you think. We got 34 games left. Let us know how many wins you think we're gonna win the rest of the season. And with that being said, boys, we just gotta pray.
Well, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to join the roller coaster of the season. I mean, this is the time to do it. Any NBA fans, you are more than welcome to join us in our misery and all that stuff too, as we are just currently suffering for all of your entertainment. Follow us on Instagram as well. We are very close to 1,000 followers there.
The goal is 1,000 on YouTube. We are at 650 at the time of this recording, so 350 more. We're gonna make that live stream very fun. We'll be doing some stuff when there's dead time to try and get the subscriber account going.
If this video gets 100 likes, RT will do a hot tub stream.
Yeah. We'll be doing fun stuff. RT, make sure you have the Thursday off.
I will try.
We need you.
I will try.
We need you here.
I will try.
Just put a mannequin at your Zoom call. I'm on a Zoom
gosh.
call. Oh shoot, I can't. I don't want to wrap out.
Oh,
All right, boys. All right, people. We love you. Thank you so much for watching KGP episode 30. We love you. Have
Love
a wonderful night.